Before we get to what you are voting Canada's Game of the Week, the Banjo Bowl, let's bring in the sports doctor, Dave Pedersen. He is a Minnesota Vikings season ticket holder. Hey, Doc, good to see you again. Long time no see, bro. Just before the break, you might have seen Buffalo Bill wrote in and expects the Vikings will be battling it out for the number one overall pick. Do you think it's going to be that bad given what's happened in training camp for the Vikes?
No, I don't think it's going to be that bad. It's got a pretty good schedule. Start with the Giants on the road, which is always tough. Got the 49ers at home, which is tough. But you've got the Texans, and you've got other games this year against Jacksonville and the Colts, the Rams, a couple of dates with the Lions. I think the Vikings are going to be competitive and definitely not the bottom dwellers of the NFL.
Okay, good. There you go for the Vikings fans and the NFL fans. Before we look ahead, let's look back for a minute. You and I spent some time together on Labor Day Classic weekend in Regina. Thanks for coming out, man, and supporting our events. What was your weekend like? Your Bombers won 35-33 at Sask Sunday. How was it?
Well, anytime your team comes out ahead, it makes your weekend that much better. But, we've talked about this on this program many, many times throughout the years that it used to just be such a dreadful experience to come to the old stadium and the way the people were. But, it really has – the Labor Day Classic has a Grey Cup feel in terms of parties and hosts and welcoming places. The doors have been thrown open. Not everybody understands business, and this is good for business when you get 5, 6, 7,000 more people into your town spending money. But it was a tremendous experience. Again, we're smiling. There was no bad experiences. Even though we won, we weren't getting pelted with half-broken beer cans or flags or peanuts or anything. So that's always a good thing. But the football game was exciting. So I think when that happens, when, the Rough Riders to lose in the way they did, they clawed back and they made such a game of it. And it, really came down to a missed attempt on a 2-point convert and then a kind of an improbable field goal that even the best of them would have a difficult time doing. So there's no shame in losing, although the sting of 6 losses in a row probably feels very, very bad.
Don't worry about consoling them, Dave. There's nothing you can say that's going to make them feel any better about that loss. And by the way, it was a 60-yard field goal that Brett Lauther was trotted out there to try and make and win the game. And it didn't happen. Let's look ahead to the Banjo Bowl. Bombers have won 4 in a row. They'll be going for 5 on Saturday. So what's got you excited about the Banjo Bowl on Saturday? It's been sold out for ages, right?
Yeah, and just as much as the atmosphere at Mosaic Stadium is tremendous for the Labor Day game, this is like on steroids because first and foremost, the game was sold out really before any Saskatchewan fans could even get their hands on tickets. There will be a smattering of green in the crowd, but there's just such an energy of a 2:00 in the afternoon Saturday football game, and this, it's going to be the atmosphere is just not comparable to anything I've ever been to. This is like on par with an NFL experience. There's going to be people tailgating in the parking lots from like 6:00 in the morning. The stadium throws open their doors to the actual tailgate party 3 hours before the game at 11:00 in the morning. So the fans will be excited. The fans will be lubricated. And this is going to be just one great experience and a great football game because our team is on a roll. Like we're really like you said, going for another victory after a lousy start, and really can cement a good spot in the West Division. Really cement first place with come out with a victory.
Well, I hope they keep it safe. Nobody likes seeing the brawl at the end of the Labor Day Classic. I got to be honest with you. I've been going to those games since the 80s, whether it be a fan or a broadcaster, and I saw the Rider fans saying with all the hype going in, this feels like the old days. We used to sell out every game. It's great. Well, in the old days, you did. And then there was guys chucking knuckles at the end back in the day. I feel like you can't have one without the other. You can't build up the rivalry and the hype and then not expect this kind of thing to happen.
Yeah, there's friendly rivalry and there's the friendly, playful banter between teams. And, at the end, it's like professional wrestling, right? Having a beer with the guy sitting across from you later. in the bar. But it happens on both sides. We're not going to point any fingers directly at Saskatchewan fans or Winnipeg fans. It's just a combination of exciting football, nice weather, and a lot of beer.
By the way, the poll question is, what is Canada's game of the week in the CFL? And running away with it, last I looked, with over 75% of the vote, is the Banjo Bowl, Winnipeg home to Saskatchewan. Now, Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in, and he says, a game between a winner of 4 straight versus a loser of 6 straight is not the game of the week. Guy, don't come at us that your fans aren't engaged. And I might add, our top 2 cities or regions for viewership are Saskatchewan and Winnipeg. So that might have something to do with the vote. But I really think it is the game of the week. Give me a case, just forget that. Out of the 3 others, what is the game of the week in your mind? BC at Montreal Friday, Dave. Toronto at Ottawa. And Calgary at Edmonton.
If it was a Toronto-Hamilton rematch, because that game on Monday was very exciting, that would be in the running. Ottawa is a strong team. They're number 2 in the CFL power rankings right now. Toronto, had a hard-fought battle against Hamilton, but nobody really can call that the game of the week. And BC has a share of first place. They're very, very close. Montreal is running away with the East. That'll be a tremendous football game. And the Calgary-Edmonton game, I'm sorry, that wasn't just much of a game to watch on last Monday. So, again, it's the excitement level. We know that wherever they're playing Ottawa, Toronto, that's not going to be they're not going to have 33,000 fans like they are in Winnipeg, which adds to the atmosphere. And like I said, it's an NFL atmosphere. It's absolutely electric when the building's full. And everybody who's at Mosaic Stadium on Sunday in Regina knows that's the case, too. That makes the game better.
Taylor in Calgary writes in and he says, if Jake Maier plays like he played on Labor Day on Saturday, it's time to bench him. I'll be honest, here's what's exhausting in the Canadian Football League. Dave Dickinson and Jake Maier, 1 week up, 1 week down. Can you pick one? And then Bo Levi Mitchell with Hamilton. I'm old enough to remember when he was washed up. Wasn't it like a month ago? Pick one, Bo. Are you going to look like the 2014 Bo or the 2024 Bo? Pick one. But by the way, I can't let you go because, as you know, I value your opinion. I count you as one of my closest friends, Dave. I want you to tell me what you think about sideline and halftime interviews and if they are even important anymore, if they should go away, because 72% of respondents in our poll yesterday said, no, we don't need him. What did you think of Nathan Rourke big-timing Farhan on Saturday in Touchdown Pacific?
Yeah, if you wanted to go on that thing saying, hey, I don't want the spotlight on me, this is a team game, you want to say something like that, maybe you get it. But you know what? It's part of the game. You watch now, National Hockey League broadcaster interviewing the coach on the bench during the game. Preseason NFL, they've got reporters pulling guys off the sidelines talking to games. I think it's, you can't have too much publicity, and it's the inclusion thing. We're an inclusive society now, and that wasn't good form on Nathan Rourke. This is a guy that didn't look good in his first 2 games, and he looked impressive on Saturday in Victoria, but. No, you got to do everything you can to put bums in seats and sell another ticket. And if you do stuff like that, you're going to put people off. You can understand if there's hard feelings after a loss and things like that, and just the moment. Yeah. But you still got to be cordial, and you got to remember you're in the entertainment business as much as you are in professional sports.
Yeah, that's the thing. They were winning. You can see it if they were losing. But yeah, I wish that some people worked a little more closely to sell the game together, but that's the way that it is. David, thanks for hopping on, man. Always fun. Have a safe, fun Banjo Bowl weekend.
Yeah, it was great seeing you and everybody, and Ricky down at Ballers, and then, of course, we went to George the Four Seasons and all the great places, and hadn't been in Regina for several months, and it was just great back. It's almost like my second home.
Always a great time, man. Thank you, Dave. See you. The
Thanks.
Sports Doctor, Dave Pedersen.